And welcome back to Sports on Tap. It's our Ohio High School football coverage. We're part of the NEO Sports Insiders Network. Go to www.neosportsinsiders.com. You can find all of our podcasts there along with stories, pictures, and go to our Facebook page. A lot of great pictures there.
Done by our own Josh Jeffy.
Yeah.
Action Shot McJones.
He does a great job with that. Our Twitter page is at SOT Podcast.
Yeah, make sure you follow that during our game of the week.
Hashtag
SOTHSF.
Bingo.
Yes.
Perfect.
That. Follow us. We're getting, for our game of the week, in-game updates, pictures, videos, all kinds of good stuff on the Twitter sphere.
And schools that we cover, if you guys have stats you want to send to us, please send them to our Facebook. That way we don't murder names or,
Yeah, we say them
We're
correctly.
probably going to do that anyways.
Yeah.
So,
but we try our best.
But at least we get their stats right.
Absolutely.
Somewhat right.
Somewhat right, yeah.
Well, we try.
Yeah.
But right now, we're going to talk a little bit about our game of the week from
Yes,
this
sir.
last week. And you want to talk about a game that was entertaining from start to finish. It was North Ridgeville traveling to Berea-Midpark. And this game started off with North Ridgeville's running back, Shamari Williams. He has been filling the role of Demario McCall, who is at Ohio State. He started with a 6-yard run. It was Davila's kick that was good. It was 7-0 North Ridgeville. Then Berea-Midpark fumbled, giving North Ridgeville great field position. However, North Ridgeville would return the favor. They would fumble on the next play, giving the ball back to the Titans. Anthony Miller then of Berea-Midpark, he also had an interception and on a North Ridgeville pass on 4th down. And that would keep the score at 7-0 after the first quarter, which was almost shocking when you know the score at the end of this game. It was 7-0 after the first quarter. Then in the second quarter was Berea-Midpark. Cameron McCoy tied the game up at 7 with an 8-yard run. Smith with the kick, and it was good. That tied it up at 7. Then North Ridgeville, Shamari Williams again answers with a 13-yard run. The kick after was good, 14-7 Rangers. This went back and forth. Berea-Midpark, Tyrese Howland, the running back we interviewed after the game, on a 22-yard run. Smith, the kick is good. It was 14-14. Then North Ridgeville again answering on a 39-yard field goal by Erie Davila. It was 17-14. The North Ridgeville Rangers led at half. We moved to the third quarter. Berea-Midpark started off with Luis Vega on a 10-yard pass from Trevor Bazinski. The kick was no good. It was 20-17 Berea-Midpark. Then they shocked everyone, I think, in the stadium on this one. They kicked an onside kick and recovered.
Yep.
And that paid off big time, and the momentum turned a little bit as Berea-Midpark then would score again with Luis Vega on a 5-yard pass from Trevor Bazinski. Therese Howland with a run. It was 28-17 Titans. North Ridgeville, though, they did respond as Byron Shuey, the wide receiver, got a 35-yard pass from Colin Sullinger. Then Sullinger would run it in for the 2-point conversion. It was 28-25 Titans. Berea-Midpark then answering as wide receiver Reed Perry caught a 73-yard pass from Trevor Bazinski. Smith's kick was good. It was 35-25 Titans. As we move to the fourth quarter, North Ridgeville started the fourth with sophomore tight end Forrest Croxton. He had caught an 11-yard pass from Colin Sullinger. Davila's kick was good as 35-32 Titans. Then Cameron McCoy, who's made some pretty big plays in this game, caught a 41-yard pass from Trevor Bazinski. The kick after was good, and you'd think, all right, that might do it. It was 42-32 Titans. But Shamari Williams said, you know what, we're not giving up yet. A 1-yard touchdown run. Davila's kick was good, 42-39 Titans. But the North Ridgeville Rangers ran out of time as the Titans escaped with a 42-39 win. The Titans improved to 2-1, 2-0 in conference as the North Ridgeville Rangers fall to 1-2, 1-1 in conference. Berea-Midpark travels to Amherst Steel as North Ridgeville hosts Olmsted Falls. And some stats in the game. Quarterback Trevor Bazinski of Berea-Midpark, he finished 16 of 28 for 246 yards, 3 touchdowns. His running back Tyrese Howland finished with 192 yards on 31 carries and a touchdown. Wide receiver Luis Vega and running back Cameron McCoy finished with 2 touchdowns apiece on the evening as Berea-Midpark again with a pretty big win in the Southwestern Conference. North Ridgeville, though, quarterback Colin Sullinger, he had a good game, 251 yards and 2 touchdowns. And running back Shamari Williams, he has really stepped up this year, 137 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns. His wide receiver Byron Shuey had 6 receptions for 112 yards and a touchdown. And that was just an overall a great offensive juggernaut. I think I'm out of breath right now. I'm ready to almost pass out. I think I'm a little lightheaded after all that offensive scoring. But, I think we saw a lot of – obviously we knew we were going to see some offense from Berea-Midpark. John Hunick is just a great offensive mind, has that team really clicking on all offensive cylinders. Defense has a little bit of work to be done, but they did make some plays when they needed to. I thought really that onside kick could have been the difference in the game. And as we talked, they went for another. It looked like they meant a second onside kick, but that was by accident. John Hunick said, we did not mean to do that, but they didn't recover that one. So it gave North Ridgeville a good field position. But North Ridgeville, I was impressed with head coach Luke Durbin, what he's done with that offense. North Ridgeville is always known for a running game. And all of a sudden, Colin Sullinger, he can air it out. They can run the football, and they put up some big numbers. I think with both these teams, the defense really needs to make some more plays and make some stops because the offense has really ran away with this one.
Well, the one thing that struck me was early on in the game, it was a turnover fest in the first quarter.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point, Berea-Midpark turned it over, and then, as you mentioned, North Ridgeville turned it over the very next play. And then I want to say on the very next series, Berea-Midpark turned it over again. I mean, at one point
there were 3 turnovers.
Yeah,
in the
I was
first
sitting
quarter.
I was sitting in the stands for the first half, and I was sitting next to a group of people, and they had no idea who had the ball at any point in time throughout the first quarter. Things settled down a little bit. The scoring kind of picked up in the second half, and I think that's when
for sure
the offenses started to kind of find their groove. But also, big plays. One thing, John Hunick mentioned in the interview was not only was the play of his defense. They gave up some plays, they gave up some points, obviously, but when they needed to kind of tramp down and stop North Ridgeville, at least in the first half, they were able to do it and keep them in the game. So, in the second half, that thing kind of took off. I mean, at one point, poor Rob's doing video, and him and Josh are running back.
Yeah.
I mean, they were doing beasts from one end of the field
we were
to
doing
the other.
sprints.
I
just
stopped
up
at a
and
certain
down
point.
the sidelines.
I just stayed at one end of the field. I could figure it out from there. But yeah, it was definitely a fun atmosphere. It was a fun game to cover. And it really was like towards the fourth quarter, like, wow, when North Ridgeville scored for the last time and they lined up for that onside kick, I was like, if they get this, we may have ourselves a shocking end to this game.
Yeah.
But,
it almost happened, actually, because I think Berea-Midpark fumbled the ball a little bit, and then under the pile they recovered.
Yeah.
But nobody knew who had the ball. It was actually smart. North Ridgeville kicked it to the side where there were only, I think, 2 or 3 Berea-Midpark Titans.
Yeah.
And they almost recovered it, so it was close.
But hats off to, like you said, to Coach Luke Durbin and the North Ridgeville coaching staff. They kept those kids in that game because at a certain point Berea-Midpark was up maybe 10 points in the fourth quarter. It'd be tough for those kids to pack it in, but they focused their energy and they were able to respond in kind, and it was very, very, very interesting and impressive to see that coaching staff and those kids, particularly Colin Sullinger, really struck me how poised he was, even in the face of maybe some turnovers, some late game pressures, things like that. Josh, what did you think?
Well, a couple of observations that I had was, for one, as many points as both these teams gave up, especially in the second half there were some hard hitting out there. And Coach Hunick made mention of that in the post-game interview, how his defense really came out and played hard and hit hard. And that's for both teams. Second observation I had was, and I did mention this in the interview also, was the success of the read option that Berea-Midpark was running in the second half. It was very evident. It was like they found something in the defense where they were able to make an adjustment. I asked Coach if they were running the read option in the first half, and he said, yeah, they were. It just wasn't really working for them. But in the second half, they really found some success with Tyrese Holland and Trevor Pazinski, both doing a very good job of running that read option. And then it just turned out to be a offensive slugfest there in the second half, where Berea-Midpark prevailed in the very end. Very good game. Like you said, a very exciting game. We definitely should have had our Fitbits on to see how many steps we had.
I had mine on.
What'd you have?
The end of the night, I ended with 16,000 steps.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I ended with about 17,000.
Yeah.
That's good. Well,
That's good. Well, moving on.
This recap brought to you by Fitbit.
Big club say, whoops, see you later.
Right.
well, I just wanted to give some time because we got about 3 minutes left in the show. Wanted to give some props to where we're going to be this
Yes.
Friday
Yes.
for our Week 4 Game of the Week. Rob, take it away.
All right, well, we're going to be at Barberton.
Yes,
as
sir.
Copley and Barberton will face off in what's going to be, I think, an absolute great matchup. You look at both of these teams, and Barberton is 3-0 right now. Copley 2-1.
Coming off a tough loss. Coming off a real tough loss.
So they're
going to
want, to get back in the win column, and I think this should be just an absolute outstanding game to watch.
Yep.
So I'm excited to be there.
I'm really excited to see this game because, the Barberton and Copley, I think, alongside Aurora and now Revere, really, are that, like I mentioned in our preview, is that top tier of my division particularly. And I want to. This kind of, like I said, sets the table as much as that Revere Highland game does. But I think this more so because whoever wins this is going to be the odds-on favorite to probably take the division. And I look for this to be a very hard-fought, possibly high-scoring event. Not to say that the defenses don't play well, but I think both of these offenses have such powerful playmakers and such explosive playmakers that it's almost hard to contain them. So maybe it becomes a shootout. Hopefully, Rob will bring our Fitbits, we'll bring our water bottles,
yeah,
we'll
we
bring,
will.
we'll be out
ready.
there taking pictures and really hoping to see a good game in Barberton, and also, hey, getting some love out there to Canton.
That's
Canton?
right.
In Canton?
Yeah, it's close to Canton.
Close enough.
Yeah.
But if you look in your conference though, 4 teams are at 2-1.
Yep.
So Talmadge is 2-1, Highland, Copley, and Aurora all at 2-1. Barberton and Revere at the top at 3-0. So this is a pretty big game, really, because if Copley falls to 2-2, I mean that could be changing there, or it could start evening things up with a loss by Barberton. So it's a really big game. Comes at a great time. It's our game of the week in the Suburban League.
Sports on Tap game of the week.
That's right. It's going to be a good one. So we're excited to get out there and give some love to the Suburban League.
Yes, sir.
We're going to be traveling a bit. So say hi if you see us running up and down the sidelines. Hopefully, I'm kind of hoping it's not a 50-49 game.
I believe this is at Rudy Sharkey Field.
I believe so, yes.
Yes. He used to be one of my old coaches at Mount Union.
Really?
He's a legend of Barberton.
Yeah.
So should we tell him Ed Dick said hi?
Absolutely not. He coached linemen.
Okay.
I just know who he is. He probably didn't.
Well, according to Joe Tate, you were considered a lineman.
Linebacker.
I'll never forget that
Linebacker.
quote. That was classic.
It'll be our first time actually being out in the Barberton area, so God, I hope we don't get lost.
I think we'll find
Does anyone know any good places to eat out
yes.
there?
Yeah. Hey, Contact Sports on Tap.
Hashtag
on Facebook.
feed the FNG.
We'll be ready to go, so come join us out at Barberton. It's Copley and Barberton, Sports on Tap's Game of the Week. Also, congratulations to John Hunick on his Sports on Tap Game of the Week win.
Yep.
Exciting game. Want to thank him and all of Berea-Midpark. They were great having us out there.
And the energy of the kids, too, was really cool at the end of the game. Yeah, they were pumped.
They were definitely
really cool.
excited. Guys, any last thoughts?
You guys enjoy Week 4. I am going to be on assignment down at Progressive Field trying to root on the Indians as they look for a division championship.
I'm actually not going to be at the game this week.
Oh, wait, where are you going to be?
I'll be on assignment at one of my friends' weddings, actually.
Oh, look at this.
Look at this.
Well, I guess me and Duff will hold down the fort.
Then that'll be followed up by one of Diane's friends' weddings on Saturday.
Holy cow.
Wow, back-to-back.
And I happen to win tickets to the Browns game on
Saturday.
Saturday.
Wow.
Well, somebody get Ed about 3 chocolate milks and maybe a large pizza.
Let me just give you a flash forward to Sunday afternoon. After the Browns game, guys, I can't make the show on Monday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write it.
I honestly haven't decided if I'm going to the game yet or not. We'll see.
We'll get Ed a pizza and a large chocolate milk for Sunday,
and probably some Gatorade and Tylenol. But
yeah.
All
right, guys, great job this week. We'll move on to week 4 coming up. We'll see you at our game of the week, Copley at Barberton. For Ed Dick, Sean Duffy, Josh Jeffy, I'm Rob Troutman saying so long. We're Sports on Tap, part of the Eddie O Sports Insiders Network. This was our Ohio High School football coverage.